So I was watching one of my favourite channels the other day, which is one called KINETEK, created by director cinematographer Matthew Rosen. And he has some fantastic, invaluable advice for people who are starting out in cinematography or filming, and even people who have quite a lot of experience. There's just so much interesting information. And there's one that caught my eye because I am a big fan of macro photography and videography. And he'd constructed this set of bellows which allowed him to film mould in incredible detail, filling sort of the lens with just these spores, which was fantastic. And I really liked that, but I thought, well, a lot of the time that's probably too much. Often I will have a requirement to maybe film or fill the screen with just the tip of a cigarette burning or a petal off a flower, something like that, for sort of impact. And I also didn't have the time to construct bellows. Brilliant that they are, and his solution is definitely the best one. But if you're in a hurry, what you can do is I've bought this lens, which cost me, I think, £15 on eBay. It's a Tamron 28-70, and I found that the zoom is actually very handy with stuff like this, and I'll explain why in a minute. And then I bought a set of expansion or extension tubes for the lens, and they just simply screw onto the lens. Obviously you have to get the right one for the lens that you're using, and it has a couple of effects. Number one is it will lose you quite a bit of light, so you need to make sure your subject's lit well. And outdoors it'll be fine, in fact it'll be about right. Indoors you'll definitely need some reasonable lighting. The other thing is you have an extremely shallow depth of field on this lens once it becomes a macro, so you will need to stop down the lens. So usually I'll run this around about f11, which gives me a usable range of focus. Otherwise, there's probably about 0.1 of a millimetre that's in focus and the rest is not. And also bear in mind that if you're shooting in 4K, yet you're delivering in 1080, of course you can jump in or crop in, whichever way you like to term it. You can put the footage up to 100% and get another 2 times magnification on top of the macro setting. Incredibly cost effective. I think these tubes cost me about £7 or something ridiculous. So the reason I like the zoom, I've got a pound coin here, and what I can very quickly do using the zoom ring is set the focus roughly to where I want it to start, and then I can use the focus ring itself to get the fine focus to decide whereabouts on the object I want the focus to lie. And then I've got an object to the left, which is a pen, and that's slightly in a different position. I can very quickly move the camera up with the zoom ring, get it to the point where I have the part that I want in focus, and then here I've got the fine control actually on the focus ring itself. And again, I will try with my finger down here. For example, put my finger in, and here we go. So